What's up, everybody? How's it going? My name is Kevin, and welcome to a voiceover. Alright, so I don't know if you guys have heard about the new movie, I'm Not Ashamed. Several of you have shared it with me and asked me if I would review it. I might review it one day, but to be honest with you, I'm not really feeling up to watching it. It's about the Columbine shooting, and I remember whenever that happened because I'm an old man, and I just don't feel really comfortable about watching a movie about it. In fact, whenever I first saw the trailer for this movie, it autoplayed on Facebook, and I really felt uncomfortable whenever I saw it. It's intended to shock, and I know that it doesn't show anything like extremely graphic, but just seeing the kids come up and like shoot just these normal kids sitting there really made me pretty sad. It ruined my whole day whenever I saw the trailer, and I just clicked away and did something else. So, apparently though, this movie is now out. Several of you have asked me to review it, and who knows, my friend Josh has seen it and said that I should review it, and I might one of these days. That being said, one of you guys brought to my attention a new post on the internet, Facebook to be exact, by the production company Pureflix. Here it is. It reads, YouTube suspended our trailer, but we have it back up now. We faced persecution for our new movie, I'm Not Ashamed, but we're not gonna stop spreading the word through our movies. Hashtag I'm Not Ashamed. Wow, guys, very fascinating that apparently Pureflix, the company, is suffering persecution for having made this film. They also posted an article, which is what this comment is supposed to be about, or at least it's implying that that's what it is about, and I think it might be important to go ahead and read through this article and see what it is that happened, and maybe we can help put a stop to it somehow in this world. I pray that we can, and since I'm not a huge fan of reading, I have actually asked my friend Adler Davidson from youtube.com/Adler Davidson to go ahead and read the article for me, and then I will respond. This also will help separate my voice from the article, so you know whenever Adler is speaking, he's just reading the article. These aren't actually Adler's thoughts, I don't think. It might be. We'll see how passionately he read the article. All right, so take it away, Adler.
Pureflix's I'm Not Ashamed trailer suspended from YouTube.
All right, so right off the bat, even the title is a little bit deceptive because this article was written just recently, so it makes it seem like this YouTube video was just recently suspended, but actually, as we read on in the article, we find out that the video was suspended over 11 months ago. But on top of that, it's kind of funny because if anybody knows anything that's been happening on YouTube over the past year, they know that this type of thing happens all the time. Now, I don't want to jump the gun here and assume something that isn't true, but I am inclined to say, and I'm sure we'll find out more about this in the article, but this could have something a little more to do with people flagging the video and the problems with the YouTube flagging system and the abuse related to that than it is YouTube specifically targeting Christians. But maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. Let's read on, see what they have to say.
According to published reports last October, YouTube removed the trailer and YouTube channel for the Pureflix movie I'm Not Ashamed, a Christian-themed film based on the life of Rachel Joy Scott, the first victim killed in the 1999 Columbine shootings. The trailer had no inappropriate or offensive content.
Well, see, this is the problem, isn't it, with the YouTube service terms and agreements, is that what you, Pureflix, deem as inappropriate and offensive, or not inappropriate and not offensive, might be inappropriate and offensive to other people. And so if you have a trailer where two kids are sitting there in front of their school and some dude comes up and mows them down with a Tech 9, that can be considered a little bit graphic and scary and offensive for some people. Now, if you had two guys kissing in a video, you, Pureflix, and certainly your target demographic might find that offensive, but for other people, there isn't anything inappropriate or offensive in that. So, by saying, well, there's nothing inappropriate or offensive, so I shouldn't have my video taken down, but people who have inappropriate and offensive stuff should have their videos taken down, well, then you're opening up somewhat of a Pandora's box of allowing anybody to take down anybody's video just because they personally aren't comfortable with the content.
According to The Hollywood Reporter, I'm Not Ashamed filmmakers questioned whether YouTube's move was an example of anti-Christian bias after YouTube not only ignored their request to put the trailer and channel back up, but also to give an explanation as to why it was taken down in the first place.
Well, that's not really news now, is it? I mean, that's just quoting an assumption that Pureflix is making due to the silence on the side of YouTube. I could say, well, Pureflix hasn't responded to my emails whenever I've asked them if they're murdering puppies every day, so I can only assume that they're murdering puppies puppies every day.
After a year, the trailer reappeared last week, apparently after The Hollywood Reporter contacted YouTube. On Thursday, YouTube released the following statement to the magazine. With the massive volume of videos on our platform, sometimes we make the wrong call on content that is flagged by our community. When this is brought to our attention, we review the content and take appropriate action, including restoring videos or channels that were mistakenly removed.
Ugh, YouTube, come on, of course you would say that. You know that the only reason you took down this video isn't because some random person or a group of people flagged it because they felt like maybe it was inappropriate for children to see somebody getting gunned down. You have an anti-Christian agenda, YouTube. You know, since you spend most of your time policing this website that you've created that has millions upon millions of hours of content, you also have the time to sit and brew over the fact that a Christian movie is made and it's being advertised on your platform. There's no way. This is clearly a misunderstanding of the entire situation of YouTube. People thinking that because they make content that is about one specific thing, then when their videos get taken down, it's because of that one specific thing, without looking at the fact that there are people without that specific thing also getting their videos flagged and taken down. What is actually happening here, as YouTube faces this existential crisis of attempting to make their ad space worth more money, and in essence make their actual website worth more money, which by the way is not a bad thing. YouTube is a business and the goal of a business is to make profit. If a business isn't making profit, it's a failing business. YouTube has a massive amount of content being uploaded to its site every day. They do not have enough manpower on the earth to watch through all of those videos and monitor them. What they're attempting to do is, just like all of their content is being created by the users, they're trying to get the users to contribute in policing itself. The problem here is, as we've learned from things like Bodie McBoatface and Harambe McHarambeface, you can't trust the internet to do this kind of thing. Rather than looking inward, how about you look outward and say, maybe people are abusing the system and this is not some sort of conspiracy against Christians. But believe me, people, Pureflix knows this. This is not some sort of old fogey accidental post on the side of Pureflix, okay? They are not completely oblivious to what's going on YouTube. If they were, they wouldn't magically have the knowledge and the tech know-how to take down videos that criticize them. They're using the system to their advantage, and they're using this situation to try to play the victim card to say, hey everybody, look, we're being persecuted, right? Because we had our videos taken down.
I'm Not Ashamed filmmakers have sought help from lawyers from Massey, Stotzer, and Nichols in Alabama, and according to The Hollywood Reporter, are seeking compensation for 11 months of online marketing for the movie.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the lawsuit. Okay, what part of Turn the Other Cheek did we miss in all of this? Is that gone now? Are we not doing that anymore? Is that just not a Christian thing that we do? Why are you guys suing each other all the time? This is just nuts. Here's a little anecdotal evidence on my part. I could, if I wanted to, attempt at least to sue Pureflix for the 2 years of lost compensation for them making a copyright claim on my video where I review God's Not Dead that clearly falls under fair use. However, I don't do that. I feel like this is all projection because you think that YouTube is taking down your videos because they have some sort of agenda or they don't like what you're saying. But that's what you do, Pureflix. You demonetize and take down videos that criticize your movies.
The film's producer, Chuck Howard, and filmmakers have speculated that the trailer suspension may have to do with Change.org's recruiting 1,868 people to sign a petition that states the trailer evokes a sense of glorification and entertainment toward the Columbine shooting.
Do you really think that YouTube cares about a petition from Change.org? Probably a lot of those people who signed that petition also went over to the trailer and flagged it on YouTube. So you've got YouTube getting this huge influx of its people saying, hey, this channel sucks. We shouldn't have this channel. It's bad. It's offensive content. Oh crap, this has offensive content. Let's delete that channel, all right? They're not paying attention to it. Is it a bad system? Yeah, it's terrible. If YouTube doesn't want to make these types of mistakes, they need to just allow anybody to upload anything onto their website, and then it will be fair for everyone. Unfortunately, we have a bunch of whiny babies who gather their group of people and they all go over to one place and flag those videos, and then the people who disagree with them and go over to the other videos and flag those videos. And it doesn't work because everybody's fighting to have their favorite thing exist on YouTube and have everything that they disagree with taken off of YouTube. It's just so hypocritical. Why does anybody's videos have to be deleted off of YouTube?
However, Howard states, we didn't glamorize the killers. We basically portrayed everything the way it happened.
Basically? Maybe it's just me, but every time I hear the word basically, I assume the person is lying. I basically saw the Tooth Fairy yesterday, but in this case, it's really inconsequential. It doesn't matter if you portrayed it basically how it actually happened. You can portray something exactly as it happened, and it can still be offensive, but that's a little bit beside the point because, guys, here comes the doozy. This is the worst line in this article, and I've heard this type of thing said on the left, on the right, in the middle, and it really frustrates me. Take it away, Howard.
Howard also added, YouTube is an information monopoly that controls what people see. Google should be forced to sell it because they are skewing what people can see and do. This is ridiculous.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
YouTube is not a monopoly. In fact, YouTube and certainly Google may be one of the largest companies in the history of the world, and yet, overhead for market entry to be a competing company is lower, cheaper, easier, and more accessible than ever before. It is theoretically possible in today's day and age for a kid living in his parents' bedroom to gather enough knowledge off of YouTube to build a competing site with YouTube, do a better job, and completely run YouTube out of business. That's theoretically possible. Now, would it take time for people to move over? Probably. Why is it that people stick with YouTube? Well, they trust it. But did we not learn from MySpace? These big internet companies are very easy to take down. And you know what? As YouTube becomes more and more frustrating for people and they start policing their website more, the demand for something that is better than YouTube is opening up more. So the odds that that's going to happen are increasing every time YouTube messes up like this. So no, there is not a monopoly here. Just because YouTube is able to do something better than all of its competition doesn't make it a monopoly. How totalitarian do you have to be to say that Google should be forced to sell one of its brands? What is this, a Babylon Bee article? Forced by whom? Are you saying that the government should step in and take YouTube away? That is the worst thing I've ever heard. If you think it's frustrating to have YouTube taking things down whenever enough people flag a video, where you've got a big group of people over here saying, I want to take down everything I don't like, and then you got their opposers over here, well, we want to take down everything we don't like. That's literally how the government works. You have 50% of the people saying, we want it to be this way, and then they make some policies and throw some regulations in there and start policing this thing more heavily. The other 50% say, well, we want it to be this way, and then they make policies and start policing it more heavily, and it's this constant tug of war of regulation over regulation and policing atop of policing. All of a sudden, you have all these rules that don't work together, and you've created no more security, and you've taken so much freedom, and that's what's going on right now with YouTube, and the only consolation that we have is knowing that another website can be started at any time, and we can choose to leave. So putting this in the hands of the government makes it exponentially worse because you'd have to literally move to another country if you wanted to escape this crazy regulation that you don't agree with, that is no longer being enforced by demonetization or taking videos down, but rather being enforced with guns and police officers and the threat of prison.
Howard has a point.
No. He doesn't. But I can see why you would say that, since Howard works for the same company as you. I mean, if you did actually criticize him, then that might make things a little awkward in the break room.
It is ridiculous that YouTube would block a trailer of a Christian-themed movie for nearly a year without any real explanation. It makes one wonder exactly how agenda-driven is the content that is featured and allowed on their website.
Probably not very. I mean, how big of a threat can a Christian movie really be to a huge mogul like YouTube and Google? I mean, I run a Christian YouTube channel, and the only people who give me trouble about it are the Christians.
YouTube saw a Christian-themed film as a threat to their website, and they are right. Christian-themed movies such as I'm Not Ashamed or God's Not Dead are giving Christians an alternative to mainstream media which fails to respect their beliefs.
Oh man, this is the worst pandering I have ever heard in my whole life. This is almost sad. I feel like I'm just watching a fish dying just on the ground, flopping around, desperately gasping for air, trying anything to get back into the bucket, and they can't. Pureflix apparently thinks that YouTube is taking their competition away, or they somehow think that their content is drawing people away from YouTube. Don't you realize that there have got to be millions of hours of Christian content on YouTube, none of which are flagged or taken down? And again, my channel is proof that the only people who are giving Christian content trouble are the Christians.
Join the movement with Pureflix. Be a part of the community of moviegoers that are upholding Christian beliefs and changing the culture for Christ by creating media that glorifies God no matter how much others try to stop them.
Ugh, oh my gosh, this makes me really sick, and I hope that everybody listening to this understands what I'm talking about here, because this is a really disgusting line. Pureflix doesn't actually think this stuff, but they're trying to create some sort of rallying cry or a battle cry saying, you're being persecuted, and the only way to fight it is to support our movies. Like, that's very blatant. That's almost literally what they've said here. As Pureflix continues to say things like this and get more and more bold and more blatant and more shameless, hashtag I'm not ashamed, then audiences hopefully will wake up and say, you know what, this isn't really something that I'm interested in supporting, and they'll go support something else that actually is doing some good and isn't just asking you to help it fight for its own existence, because I'm pretty sure if Pureflix went under, Christianity's gonna be okay.
Start with the thousands of movies available at pureflix.com. Sign up for a free month trial at pureflix.com today.
See, Pureflix is kind of showing their hand here, right? All Pureflix sees whenever they look at their customer base is just a big lump group of numbers. And so, you, as a Christian, are obligated to identify with any sort of criticism and ridicule that they may suffer because of their actions. Guess what, people? You are not just a demographic, you are an individual. Don't let Pureflix put you in the box with them. Let's stand together and show Pureflix that we are individuals, and you can start by sharing this video with every single person you know. See what I did there? I'm trying to get you angry by creating this common enemy and then using that anger to attempt to advertise the thing that I'm doing. Pretty shameless, isn't it? All right. Good night. Alright, that's all I gotta say for today. Thank you so much for watching. I got more movie reviews coming out soon, none of which are made by Pureflix, if you can even believe that. Adler Davidson, thank you so much for what you have done here today, reading that. Check out Adler's channel at youtube.com/AdlerDavidson. It's also linked. Check it out, he's a super funny guy, one of the funniest guys you will ever find on YouTube. Thank you so much to my Patreon givers, especially Westminster Effects, Brendan Neely, and barelyprotestant.blogspot.com. Check out both those websites if you want. Well, just do it. I mean, those people are nice enough to support the show and keep it going. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Until then, I'm Say Goodnight Kevin, holding the Christian media industry up to the same standard as other industries, right? All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Good night.